Can you hear me? Wonderful. I apologize to the East Coast devotees, about 7 cities, for starting 30 minutes late. It's 8 p.m. Happy evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy birthday to you, the host here, Mr. Radhakrishna. He has been, right, this is the real mic. He has been a really good support to whatever I do in the mission. Sometimes even outside the mission, he's taking care of the vegetable worries. He has got hybrid vegetables in his garden. He brings drumsticks, which has got out of the world taste. And we have tasted it. And therefore, this hybrid technology, I don't know, he has got hybrid technology everywhere. Some of the photographs will start talking hybrid technology. He's pretty good. Both of them are in IT. So happy birthday, the IT guys. Divine Reminiscences. I explained to you last time, last satsang in Sri Ram's home. It was also related to Kumbakonam and Trichy and other places. What is divine experience? Reminiscence. Nihita? No, Mihika. Nihita is upstairs. Mihika, I call her. She knows what is reminiscence. She knows the corporate reconnaissance, divine reminiscence, and then corporate technology. She's a very successful young person who is just been enjoying the mission very much. Only thing is she misses the mission often because India is her backyard. She flies to India too often. My wife once said, I wish I go with Mihika ji. No, Mihika. Because she goes every other week, I'll get an email that somebody is not well. Well, she says, everybody is well. Everybody is good looking in that family. So, she enjoys India. When she goes to India, she sees places, people. Maybe she goes to that enigmatic city, Kolkata. So probably she first IT and next India's politics. Become the Chief Minister of West Bengal, because Didi ji will become the Prime Minister of India. Hopes in West Bengal. She heard my last satsang. The reminiscences in each and every one of you is what I see every day. The boy who studies economics in UTD, the girl who studies pre-med in UTD, the one who is going to, the two girls who are going to go next week to UTD. But already they have learned some UTD. In every tour they say, whoosh, UTD. And somehow the boys and girls who talk, they have got such a loud voice. I invited one Karthik, who is there in the Student Visitor Center, and one girl, why don't you come teach me some voice technology, improve my voice? They talk, the whole building campus rebounds. That is the might of UTD. They are all sitting there. UTD. I love that university. But then in the reminiscences of UTD, I have so many things to share. I've already shared so many things with professors and others. But here this evening, we will talk about somebody. Reminiscences of Shirdi Baba. Shirdi Baba is still alive. Some people are refuting, rebuffing at me. Very few people, out of if there are some 500,000 people who follow this satsangs or who know me so far, some two persons will be saying, all that you are saying may not be true. But then I've been proving last 3 weeks, Baba is still alive and Baba came and helped half a dozen people. Their stories will form the divine reminiscences someday. Someday, that day may be next month, or that day may be 10 years from now, because there are so many people. So many are enjoying Shirdi Baba's benevolence. So many people are enjoying Sri Narasimha Saraswati's kindness. So many people know Sripad Sri Vallabhai, call him Sri Charna, very lovingly. Reportedly, he does everything, right? If I had asked for the mic to be repaired, he would have repaired it. I didn't ask. My mistake. We talk about Sripad Sri Vallabhai every day, me and my wife and my daughter. Digambara, Digambara, Datta Digambara, Sri Vallabha Digambara. We pray to Sumati Maharani every day. We always pray to Shirdi Baba. Why? Because Shirdi Baba's place is everywhere in human lives. Literally everywhere he plays a role. One such role. There are several stories in New Delhi, several stories from Bangalore. There is the story of the servant maid in Kolkata. Baba spoke in her dream and her loan was paid by Baba himself, 6,000 rupees. The loan she gave somebody, the gentleman came and paid after a very long time, because one phone call to uncle, one phone call to this big uncle. This story, are you going to be all right without it? Oh, okay. I'm happy some new technology in the offing, because I'm a person who wants a new technology every month from IT people. From doctors, one innovation in maybe 10 years. Yeah. Type 2 diabetes. Instead of metformin, you can have one spray, it is gone. At least on the TV it look very good. There are so many tablets, medicines whose name is very difficult to pronounce. That's what I see for type 2 diabetes. I knew one maid servant, all this time, 2 minutes is okay? I knew one maid servant, her name is Kamini. She was living in that big corporate city of Mr. D.K. Shivakumar and Mr. Siddharamaya's Bangalore. The stories from Shirdi Baba doesn't create any confusion, like the confusion between the two names I mentioned in the party they represent. There is no confusion. Kamini was working in the devotee, was my friend, for over 3 years. And Kamini hails from a very small village in Karnataka, somewhere near Shimoga. Shimoga used to be a very small village in Karnataka. Now it is a city like Vijayawada. Kamini is about 25 years of age now, and she has 3 children. Daughters aged 8, 5, and 3. The whole problem happened to be with the 3rd daughter. Shirdi Baba's divine reminiscence, you will understand pretty soon. Every story starts as if it's a story in a Kannada movie. Nope. I'm reaching, sauntering slowly towards the powerful reminiscence. The 3rd daughter's name is Kanchan. Kanchan was born with a congenital defect. The congenital defect, unfortunately, when she was in the womb of her mother, the disorder starts taking place, starts showing the ugly head. Her feet never felt the power. She never had the feet. The feet was there. It's not the story of spina bifida. Spina bifida is a condition in medical science. Some of the future doctors are listening to that. It's a condition that affects the spine. And there'll be a sac that's flowing out of the spine. Sometimes within the sac will be the spinal cord and the nervous system itself. If that happens, that's going to be very serious. Doctors know that. The future doctors will research on this. The most 3 common type and the most difficult one is myelomeniingocele. Spina bifida, 3 types. Myelomeningocele is the toughest one, which I already described, the sac. Some sacs will be big from the spinal cord. And that happens even when the girl or a boy is in the womb of the mother. That's a very difficult thing. The prenatal surgeons know that. Coming from the doctor's world, a very complicated medical world, this girl, Kanchan, unfortunately, her legs were lifeless. She was born that way. The lower portion of her body never had any feeling, sensation. The mother touches, she can't feel it. If that is a condition, she also cannot express anything. Remember, long ago I told you the story of Kumbhakonam, Mr. Mani's daughter. I'm not going to test you. Her daughter's name is Rajalakshmi. Rajalakshmi was born, cannot talk, dumb, but she can walk. But compare it with Kanchan. Kanchan cannot talk, she cannot feel the legs, and therefore she cannot walk. What else you want for a mother? A new mother, the third daughter is in this medical condition. And then when this happened, there are not many neurological solutions. Surgery is a major solution these days. I consulted with some doctors. They said surgically some cure is possible, but then it's a very difficult cure. Doctors attribute this to excessive weakness in the mother's body. In Uttar Pradesh today, the mothers are married when they are 14 years old. My mother was married when she was 14 years old. The times were very different, and these days the times are, of course, very different. What can the CM, Mr. Yogi, can do? All his yoginas cannot solve this spina bifida, particularly this condition. And therefore, they tried several medical solutions. There was no medical solution. The little baby would not be able to take her own weight, and therefore she was not able to walk. I'll touch base another similar story of Diksha, am I right? Diksha of Atlanta, 2012, I met the girl. I have seen this girl, Kanchan. I have seen a similar case, Diksha. Very difficult cases. When Diksha appeared before me, it's the second day, first day the mother came. I know the name, but then for privacy's sake. The mother came without the baby, and next day when she was brought, proper solution came. Divine Reminiscences, Shirdi Baba solved the problem. How she solved the problem, one or two may remember other than my wife. This story is a classic story of the divinity that you can get in this puja from Shirdi Sai. From the picture you can get it. It was very difficult. The maidservant was working with the devotees' home. She was 25, and the third daughter, Kanchan, was hardly 1 year old. The very thought was a big pressure on the mother that she has to live the rest of her life without her legs. She has to live the entire life without talking. The barest minimum needs of a girl or a boy, a girl in this condition, you can just visualize. It's going to be very difficult, not on the girl, but on the mother and the father to some extent, and the neighbors and the school teacher. So my friend and his wife, where she was Kamini was working, were very, very worried. They consulted all the leading surgeons of Bangalore, the mighty IT city and the mighty surgeon city. Nobody gave anything. The baby was dumb and tame, lame. So my friend said, it's very difficult, uncle. It's very, very difficult. I am sure you have come here to Bangalore. This was my visit in 2005, I think. The Bangalore previous visit, 2004-05. I said, there is a solution. There is a beautiful picture. My host was talking. She was so too despondent, and felt hopeless. I was smiling, and this lady, my friend, is in the mission in Bangalore, is exposing all the people's demerits and make merits under Shirdi Baba's Dwarakamayi picture. They all come to the puja in their home But then, when they see Kanchan's face, they all go, they cannot find anything. They go speechless. They can walk barely. They're mimicking the child because that is a condition they're visualizing every day. When I went there in 2005, there is a beautiful picture of Dwarakamayi Baba which I had given. Right in front of the Baba, the picture, they were wondering there is no solution. I just told my host's wife, hello, look at the picture. Can you imagine Kanchan's condition? She's walking freely, talking freely. Kanchan could do neither. I told, there is a picture here, and there is a woody in my pocket. Right now I carry woody. I gave the woody pocket, and then I told my friend's wife, who is a very staunch devotee in 2005, I saw her, and I said, give this woody. Baba also smiled. In the portrait, Baba changed his stance and started smiling. I said, he's smiling. That is the solution. For Kanchan, there is no other solution. Kanchan will talk. Kanchan will walk. He will run. Diksha story. The same thing I told Diksha 2012 in Atlanta. I don't know whether Diksha is watching this. Diksha's mom and dad. Dad is a PhD in chemistry. He owns a lab. The last time I saw several years, he was going in for green card. That appeared to be a concern in his mind uppermost, but uppermost in the manager, deputy manager at Subway, that was Tanuja's mother, the uppermost in her mind was, uncle, cure this girl. There is a cure. Baba's woody I use with all the medical condition very freely because Baba said he's going to cure. Baba has never said, except one case, is not going to cure, it's going to take time. A surgery is needed. That is a surgery of the kidney. The nephrologist said a kidney is very difficult to find. That story is very different. A horse of very different color. That person got a kidney straight from the hands of Shirdi Baba. One kidney was cancelled, but she got another kidney, much better than the previous kidney, and therefore that person is living today, kicking, smiling. In the corporate world, she is right on top. 2 steps shy of CEO position. I spoke with her even today morning. The maidservant, when I showed the woody, a big ray of hope came. My friend's wife told, mix it in water. Give this girl the water every day, night, and then put that water from the bottom. There's woody, a little bit of woody mix. You take it and put it on her matepar, on forehead, and also on her 2 legs. The legs, the woody will speak. It will move the legs. That was the only word I said. And then we went for dinner. The servant maid, Kamini didn't understand English, and therefore it was translated into Kannada. Mujhe to Kannada gottilla. Hindi and Kannada mix. I could have said ayyo, Telugu ayyo in between. I'm very fond of ayyo in Telugu. In Tamil, I'm not fond of. Because that says ayyo, ayyo. Something is terribly wrong. In Tamil, that whole language, very enviably tough language. Ayyo in Telugu is very sweet. Coming back to the story, she was following religiously the regimen, Udi regimen, for the next 4 or 5 days. I stayed there for 10 days in the previous, 1 week we stayed, and then we moved to some other place. In the 1 week I went on asking, what about Udi regimen? My friend's wife said the first 4 days, yeah. And then the servant maid, Kamini Garu, forgot the Udi. And then I knew she was forgetting. I said, don't forget something important. You want your daughter to walk. Translated into Kannada. She said, yes. And then she started. I moved out of Bangalore. Came back to the United States. I knew very well she had forgotten. My friend's wife, they were all working in the bank, a corporate world, a big world, making big money. Bangalore needs a lot of money, right? 7 to 8 months passed. It was Navaratri time. My friend's wife invited my wife. This Navaratri, why don't you visit? During Navaratri time in India, you all know that, barring a few who are born here, and even then they should know, all the little girls are brought and their feet are washed, kumkum and chandan, and not udi, chandan, kumkum and maligai flowers. All these flowers are kept on their beautiful hair, little girls. And my friend's wife did all the same thing during Navaratri on the last day, Vijayadashmi day. About 10, 12 girls came in the terrace. They live in the third floor in the terrace. All the girls came. And finally, 8 months have passed since the incident. Finally, all the girls are there. There is some more person. And one girl came running and said, I'm still here. Why don't you dress me up? Why don't you wash my feet? My friend's wife turned around. There is no indication who that girl was. You all know who that girl was. And the girl's mother, Kamini, was in the other room decorating and preparing the food, the sweet and all these things for these girls. And when my friend's wife turned around, he said, who are you? Who is your mother? By the time the servant maid heard the friend's voice and she came, Didi, that's my daughter. Won't you see? That is Kanchan. She's pretty old now and she looks very different. And she came from the other room talking, Didi, why don't you wash my feet and decorate me with my flowers? You found out something else. She's talking. She's walking and talking. Walk the talk, as we say in this country. Our Calcutta guest. In India, they say much better. All the idioms in America, they improve. And then say, walk the talk, went into some other collusion form. I'll tell you later. Came and then said, the maid servant came. She told my friend's wife, I forgot to tell you. It's about 7 or 8 years have passed by. I completely forgot. But on the first day when I applied Udi, on the second day, my daughter started walking. I forgot to tell you. My friend's wife got angry of her life. She wanted to slap Kamini and, what's her name? Kanchan. I took the names because in Shirdi Baba said, you should never become a victim of Kamini and Kanchan. In Satcharita, he has said that. Anybody in what reference to Kamini and Kanchan, Baba said? That's the name. That's why I took the name, masking the name. Kamini is woman, Kanchan is wealth. These two's influence, the influence of these two, one has to avoid, he was advising, a deputy collector, Nana Sahib Chandorkar. After the iconic scenario in Dwarakamayi, the Islamic ladies came and then he couldn't resist. Chandorkar saw their face because they had to remove the veil to do darshan and to do namaskar to Shirdi Sai. Baba noticed it and therefore he talked about these two words. I applied those names to the servant maid because they are still living in Bangalore. She started talking. Now, some of you will be wondering, the mother of Diksha came to me and said, Baba, I came here. Why did you come without your daughter? The daughter was about 8 years old at the time, right? 7 or 8 years old, 8 or 9. And next day I said, bring your daughter and everything will be all right with the same buddhi that was tried on Kanchan. Do you know the story, Diksha? No. The daughter was brought next day. She could hardly walk. To make a long story short, I taught her how to crawl, go towards Shirdi Baba Dwarakamayi picture. She did that every day 11 times. She crawled towards Shirdi Baba's picture 11 times. That's all she could do. She cannot walk like the Bangalore girl now, Kanchan walking. Hers is a similar story. Therefore, I'll say in 2-3 words. The mother said, doctors have given up. Famous surgeons have given up here and in India. I said, Shirdi Baba is He's a professor. He's the biggest surgeon I know. I studied physiology, Beston Taylor. Gray's Anatomy, I studied under him in Rahata Medical College. Why do you worry? He will come make all right. Take this Udi. It's a simple solution your doctors never tried. Diksha crawled for about a month. As crawling speed increased, intensity increased, and her face changed. 9 years old, and one day, 1 year later, again 8 years, this is 1 year later, one of the trustees of Atlanta Temple called me and said, Mama, some miracle, you have brought some miracle. You should become the trustee of this temple. No, I don't want that political appointments. In Shirdi Baba temples, trustees are the major ones hit all the time. Any problem? Trustees. Bulao, trustee ko bulao. So, I don't want to be his trustee. Said, what miracle? Is it about Diksha? Yes, Mama. Diksha came here, she went around Shirdi Baba's Vigraham in the Sanctum Sanctorum of the large temple in Atlanta. And then we are all watching. Mama, I was there, I am watching Diksha because Diksha is under Baba's control. You said she will walk. When I was watching, even when I was watching, was calling her to talk with her, she started bolting from the temple, running. She started running. She said, he called me, I am Shirdi Baba. Mama, you made her walk, talk and run. Today she is running. My essay on her in 2012 was, she won't run, she won't walk, she will run. She can run a marathon today. She was completely cured. Matter of 1 year. The mother was happy. The PhD father was happy. They all got the green card and they are living very happily. Probably in some part of this country. These stories sound alike. These are all the reminiscences of these devotees. First the Bangalore maidservant, and then this the deputy manager in a store, we'll call it Subway. Why am I talking about this miracles? Is it about Baba's Hudi? All of you know that Baba's Hudi, if you get it from uncle, will speak, will make you talk, will make you dance, will make you get that promotion, will make that salary from 129K to 425K. Real story. At least 329K. Real story. Somebody here is going to enact that story. One person who is sitting here. I'm not going to mention the name. I'm not going to mention the name because so many of the ITs are making 259 already. The maidservant spoke with me. She cannot write English. She spoke with me in Hindi. She learned Hindi just to talk with this uncle. I am saying this because you make these people very happy. Sahasrabuddhe and his wife Suman, they were living in a part of Maharashtra. This happened in 1933. 1933. Okay, 1918 Babas. 15 years, right? 15 years after the Seema Longan of Shirdi Baba. These people, he's a licensed surveyor, purveyor of the land. He's a civil engineer, Sahasrabuddhe. Don't confuse him with Dasgano. His original name and part of the name is Sahasrabuddhe. This fellow was moving because Godavari Canal scheme was given by the 1930s, the British government, to this civil engineer. All the Indian engineers were doing extraordinary job. And therefore this Godavari Canal scheme, which was a very popular scheme in those days, the English collector, deputy collector Ahmednagar in Shirdi Falls today, he was also very interested. It was an economic advantage for Indians, and therefore British people thought they can continue for some more years ruling India, 1933, not much of a distance to 1947. They came and then they wanted to settle down in Rahata. Because Rahata was a very small village, but I was studying there in the Rahata Medical College. Professor Shirdi Baba used to come and teach me. Baba used to walk to Rahata or materialize in Rahata. How many people know that the There is one medical college in Rahata and several engineering colleges in Rahata. Anybody traveled from Shirdi to Pune by car? No? Yes. You will see Rahata and then you will see the loop road circling Ahmednagar. Beautiful city, Ahmednagar. Fantastic view from the road, bypass. They settled down. When they settled down, he knew that Baba used to come for Neemgaon, Shirdi. From Shirdi, he used to go to Neemgaon. He used to go to Rahata and meet. Who did he meet in Rahata? Sethji, right? That's Sethji. Anybody remembering the name? Sethji's name? No. No. It's all right. Kushal Chand. So, Sahasrabuddhe and his wife Sumal arranged where all the things from the cart. They unloaded the cart. There were some coolies because he had already appointed several coolies, the people who worked, employees of his company, to work for the Godavari Canal. And therefore they wanted to settle down. Mrs. Sahasrabuddhe went to neighboring places. After all, she needed to solve the problem of milk, curd and vegetables, right? It's a new place, Rahata. They came from a big city. This gentleman knew only Rahata and Dhulia. And when the talk was going on, the wife was saying, Shirdi is only 2 miles away. Baba used to visit Rahata sometimes. He used to walk or materialize, and therefore we should go to Shirdi sometime. Husband said, yeah, we will definitely be going there. So the next few days went, recruiting all these supervisors and other workers, okay, all employees who will be working on the ground, digging canals, particularly digging first. In the road I mentioned, Neemgaon, Shirdi segment. And the same segment, Shirdi Baba was there. So when he was visiting Shirdi, because it's only 2 miles. They took a tanga and then visited. He went to Samadhi Mandir in 1933. Samadhi Mandir had behind the Samadhi, there was a beautiful picture of Shirdi Baba. That was only a picture until 1952. That picture he saw a strange calmness, a strange peace descended on Sahasrabuddhe. Went on seeing the picture and they couldn't believe this is the Shirdi Baba. This was their first visit. So immediately they went to mosque. They call mosque in the book, it is Dwarakamayi. They went to Dwarakamayi. They went immediately first visit. So the Mrs. Suman said, we will go to Gurusthan. They went to Gurusthan. And she was an Anjaneya devotee also. So we went to, let's go to Anjaneya Mandir in between. They went to Shavdi next, right? At that time they didn't know very close is Bayajama's home. Very close is Shama's home. Very close is Lakshmibai Shinde's home. They didn't know. First visit you also would not know. So they were all seeing all these places, including Hanuman Mandir. And then when they were standing near Gurusthan, in front of the Vada is called Satya Vada. Satya Vada is a very famous Vada that was the first one built for pilgrims by Mr. Satya, H.V. Satya, a famous devotee of whom I have spoken at length. They were standing there and watching one man, one devotee, talking to number of people there. Around them were number of people. The man was talking with great authenticity about something. Sahasrabuddhe and Suman were watching. There was no railing in those days, very close to the silver Paduka, Gurusthan, they were watching that. And then when they were watching, Suman was asking, what is that they are talking? And at that time, all the people, the talk was over, the man was left alone and all the people went away. When they went away, Suman said, let's go and talk to that man. So the husband took and said, the husband heard the story. I said, it's a very classic story. You must listen. So he requested the man to repeat the story for the sake of his wife. And the man said, facing Suman, he said, Benji, I used to live in Andheri. Andheri is part of Mumbai. I used to live in Andheri, and in my home, I was there in the front hall, very close to the road. I was living in Andheri and several cars were moving, and suddenly a little girl I saw, because the road and where he was sitting is only hardly 15 feet. I saw a little girl, very small girl crossing, and then the car came and hit. When the car came and hit, the man is telling Sahasrabuddha and Suman this story, remember? Because it happened, he saw that it was. So the car hit, and then in front, about 10 to 12 feet, 15 feet, the girl was thrown away. And the car, because it was coming, slowly he was driving, so it came and stopped where the girl was lying, very close to her shoulder. It didn't crush her. Very close to the shoulder and head, she was severely injured because the car hit and threw her on the road, a rough road, Andheri. And he went from his seat, he went straight. He saw one Mr. Noel was driving the car. He said he he applied the brake. Sorry, he didn't broke. He braked the car. So when he applied the brake, the car, with a screeching sound, it stopped. In the meantime, the person who is telling the story from here, if you listen, you will get the same punya like all the others who came 15 minutes before I started the satsang. This is true. Even the last person, C-class devotee, I humorously call, who come right after the last person doing the arati, just enough time, in time for the perugonna. With the whizzing noise of the microwave, they come and eat. They also get punya. Because I have told Shirdi Baba, these people are here, do them, give them punya, and then they get punya. That doesn't mean the next satsang you will come to hear only the microwave. Listen to the waves from my mind. They're going to help you. They went to the hospital. The gentleman and Mr. Noel, the driver of the car, went to the hospital. The doctor said, it's a very serious injury. It's very difficult to save the girl, but she is alive. Good news, she's alive. She's not dead. Her limbs are moving. And therefore, she was in the hospital for 8 weeks. 7 to 8 weeks, the book says. 8 weeks. And the gentleman went home. Mr. Noel went home. The doctors are taking care. Sahasrabuddha and others, they were very sorry and they were very happy the girl is going to survive. But the doctors didn't give that guarantee. Some days later, Mr. Noel went to the hospital on the same day when Mr. Sahasrabuddha were visiting the girl. They wanted to know, they wanted the girl to start living, get rid of all the injuries, right? That's what happens in a car accident. If Jyoti Garu is in a car accident, a mild car accident on a freeway, the husband comes running, and then without any scratch, not even as a single scratch, she comes out of the car. The car didn't even go down 17.5 feet on the spot, I remember, on PGBT. She came out of the car. So did I. I came out of the car and then told I can run across the PGBT. This happened November 4th. I can run across, but I told the cops, first stop the oncoming traffic. The traffic was going, so you can run. Sir, please run. Stop the traffic. This happened to me 6 months ago. The first thing I asked in the ambulance was, may I have a cup of coffee, please? The coffee, preferably the coffee that my wife makes. She was sitting in a car 15 feet away, along with another devotee who is also here. 2 devotees were here. How did that happen? Great reminiscence, right? Ayyo, Telugu ayyo. If I start talking my reminiscences, you will not go home. You will not hit the sack until tomorrow night, 12 o'clock. So many experiences with Shirdi Sai. Recently, so many experiences with Sri Narasimha Saraswati. So many experiences with Sumati Maharani, Sri Sumati Maharani. Because we pray every day to Sri Charana and Sumati Maharani. Am I right? Srimati Lalita knows in the hospital when I said the doctor will come and discharge you. The husband, Mr. Vishwanath, scarcely believed me. Said the nurses come and said the doctor himself said he won't come on a Thursday. So I have to be spending one more difficult day in the nursing home, hospital. I said, I'll see you home on Thursday night. You are getting discharged in the morning. She got discharged on that very day. She is sitting here. Raise your hand if I am speaking the truth. Let all the hands go up, because I speak the absolute truth about this Sadgurus. In every other matter, it's only the truth. The truth is very bitter to you. It's about some disease you will undergo when you are 83. You are hardly 23. At 83, you just have to do this and go. What is this crazy uncle saying? 83 देखा जाएगा. अरे हंसी तो बहुत दूर है. They will tell me in choice Hindi. आप चिंता क्यों करते हैं? I will tell them, हम चिंता इसलिए करते हैं until from 26 to 83 you won't call me. So अभी बता रहा हूँ. I am telling you, like in Tamil Nadu they say, I am telling you. I won't mimic a Telugu gentleman. It is dangerous to me. Because number of devotees, 90% are Telugu speaking people. I wouldn't like to hurt their tender feelings. This girl, Sahasrabuddhe was there. Mr. Noel came in. Suman is asking a very intelligent, the women always ask intelligent question. The man was looking at Sahasrabuddhe's wife. Suman is asking this that is there in the story. Authentic story published by, very nice publishers. She asked Noel, that is all right, wo to koi baat nahi. How did your car stop? Because Noel told in the previous visit, I tried to stop the car, my brakes didn't work. I forgot to tell you, my brakes, this was 8 months ago. So Suman is still remembering, your car brakes didn't work. How the heavens, you stopped the car. Very intelligent person. Mr. Noel was flabbergasted. Sahasrabuddhe too, husband. And then he said, Noel said, that evening I had taken the car to a mechanic. The mechanic examined the car, particularly the tire. There was nothing in the tire. There was a small stone in the gearbox. 1933 cars, maybe Ford T3 model, Ford T4 model. I know only Ford T model. Okay, it will go at 2 miles per day. Sorry. Ford is, he'll be turning in his grave. He did a mighty big job. So that Ford T car, in the gearbox there was a stone. That is why the car stopped with a hissing noise. I told you with the noise it stopped. How did the stone get into the gearbox of the Ford T model 1933 or Chevy model? Nobody knew. The mechanic didn't know. That happened because the person who is telling the story, Satevada person, he said, I was sitting there when the car came a few millimeters from the head of that girl. I know the name of the girl, but the girl. I said, Baba, please save the girl. Shirdi Baba. He said Sai Baba. I'm saying, Shirdi Baba, please save this girl. He said that after 8 months to Sahasrabuddhe and particularly Sumanji. Kyonki, wahi Puja. She's the one who has talked to this gentleman Noel. So she understood. And then they were talking, all these things are happening in front of Satevada. So they all turned left and then did a big namaskar to Samadhi Mandir Baba. They are standing there. And then Suman became addict of Shirdi Baba from that time onwards. Sahasrabuddhe, as the very name suggests, all the Sahasrabuddhes in Maharashtra are Shirdi Baba devotees. I have seen it, okay, even today. Along with others, of course, they are not the only ones. So, this is some flabbergasting story. But Sahasrabuddhe also saved about 20 coolies because he was doing the Godavari canal. I'll tell you 2 sentences because it's already getting late, 45 minutes. He was sleeping one day after heavy meals. Wife is very good under culinary arts, and therefore she is sleeping. And in the sleep, Sahasrabuddhe gets a nice dream. In the dream, Baba says, Utto, jaldi utto, get up. One of your coolies, he dug this thing, everybody has gone down, one person is about to die. Get up and run. This was a dream. Afternoon, 2:30, he was sleeping after lunch. He got up, he had to find that is a dream, and therefore he runs. He takes 4 or 5 coolies with him, and then he runs 2 miles, he runs, along with some carts. While running, he says, bring some carts. After 2 miles, he finds both the sides, the canal portion that is dug has slide. slid down just like your Shimla last week. And there were no homes. 20 coolies, workers, were down, and above that the mud has gone. 20 coolies up to the neck, up to the chest, up to the hip. He saw that he had 4 coolies. Immediately he worked and then saved everybody. Finally, one employee was about to die, and then he also was saved by Sahasrabuddha's people. In the hospital he died. That's a long story. But then he could save 20 people. There was an inquiry by the British Deputy Collector of Ahmednagar. Sahasrabuddha was very, very afraid he would be remanded to custody and jail. None of those things happened. Because they are already Shirdi Baba devotee. The Deputy Collector said he saved 20 lives. One person died, but he gave enough money, 10,000 rupees to those laws, the family, and then 20 people are living very happily. This Sahasrabuddha and Suman came to live in Shirdi after enjoying Shirdi Baba's love, grace. They shifted to Shirdi from Rahata, after all 2 miles, 2.5 miles. And then they lived their life very happily, extremely happily. I have a few more stories, but I am stopping here. Few more stories relating to Sripada Sri Vallabha. How the 53 chapters came to be written. How Datta Das, a very unpad admi, meaning very, a person who never had any education, illiterate. He was on the day of Upanayanam of Sripada Sri Vallabha. What was his age when he was done the Upanayanam? 7? 3? 7. I think it is 7. 7 years old. During the Upanayanam was going on, Datta Das could not go there because he belonged to a lower class. The people, the Brahmins of that village in Pitapuram probably will not allow. Shirdi Baba would allow them first. So he thought, Datta Digambara, he said, and then started talking. He collected all his community people. He started doing a satsang. In the satsang, because he is an illiterate person, in the satsang he said one word, he repeated that one sentence, and he went on repeating about 53 times. When he said that 53 times, he repeated 10 times, 20 times, 40, 53. And then he again started the same sentence 53 times. Sripada Sri Vallabha was watching from his home in Pitapuram and then said, I have to now immediately go and meet Datta Das. His name is Datta Das, right? Said, I have to go and bless him. He went there all the way, materialized in front of Datta Das. He said, the book, the original Charitamritam, that will be written by Shankar Bhatt, none other than Shankar Bhatt. There's a big history about the original book in Sanskrit, how the Telugu version came and all that. And that appears on the 53rd chapter. 3/4 of a page, 53rd chapter on the right side of the book. Sripada Sri Vallabha explains. So he says, my book will have 53 chapters, and that book has got 53 chapters, right? You perhaps haven't seen it, that has got 53 chapters. And Shankar Bhatt also says the book that he wrote was in original version, was in Sanskrit, and that had to vanish. When the Telugu edition came, Sanskrit edition vanished. All these things are in the last chapter of Charitamritam. It vanished, and the Telugu version was taken by yogis to Pitikapuram. It was below his holy feet, and the yogis alone could read that. To talk of reminiscences of Sri Charana, or even Bapanarya, Sri Bapanarya, or even Ravi Das, the washerman, it's exhilarating to read that book. And if you read, you will have reminiscences every day of Sripada Sri Vallabha. You can but do namaskar to him every day. Such powerful are the real stories. And there are hundreds of stories in that one book. Was any other book written after Charitamritam? No one knows. Some other book. This book itself came into being in the 33rd generation of Bapanarya. And our Sadguru, Gurunadar, Sri Narasimha Saraswati, had the same face of Bapanarya, grandfather of Sri Charana. I am very happy because I have seen Sri Narasimha Saraswati once in Kashi. So I used to wonder, have I seen Sri Bapnarya? Sripad Shivallabha's grandfather, right? Who was such a learned man, who knew all the Vedas. So this is the reminiscence. I have my reminiscences. Again, I am not starting all over. What I wanted to say very elaborately about Sripad Shivallabha, for lack of time, I reduced to 53rd chapter. I hope you will all have very good reminiscences. Let us start the puja now and keep coming to this Dwarakamayi Puja for the one reason. Whatever you want in that 1 minute silence, you ask for, it shall be given to you. Whatever you pray for, Sripad Shivallabha says that in his book. You may go to any deity, you may go to any Sadguru, you may go to any Ambal, right? Female devotee. All the prayers come to me ultimately. I am the one, I am the giver. I am the one who blesses you through those gods and goddesses. He has said that several times. And therefore, you go to your Ishtadevam, the gods or goddesses you love. And in this 1 minute, you come to Shirdi Baba and ask for what you want. And it's going to happen. And therefore, please collect your flowers. Let us start the puja. Om Sri Sai, Om Sri Sai, Sri Sai Nadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai, Sri Lakshmi Narayana Namaha. Om Sri Sai, Krishna Rama Siva Maruti Yati Rupaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai, Sesha Sai Ne Namaha. Om Sri Sai Godavari Tadashiladi Vasine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhakta Hirdayalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Hirdayalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Buddhavasaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Buddha Bhavishya Pava Varjitaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kalatitaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kalakalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Kaladarpa Damanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Mrityunjayaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Mrityunjayaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Amartyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhakta Hirdayalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Martya Abhaya Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jivadaryaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarvadaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktavana Samarthaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktavana Samarthaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktavana Pradignyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Annavastadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Arogyakshemadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Arogyakshemadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Dhanamangalya Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Riddhi Siddhidaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Dhanamangalya Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Riddhi Siddhidaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Putra Mitra Kalatra Bandhudaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Siddha Shankalpaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Yoga Shema Vahaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Yoga Shema Vahaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Apad Bandhavaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Marga Bandhave Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhukti Mukti Swarga Pavargadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Priyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Priyaya Namaha. Priti Vardhanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Antaryamine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sachidatmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Nityanandaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Paramasughataya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Parameshwaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Parabrahmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Paramatmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jnana Swarupine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jagata Pitreye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktanam Matrudatru Pitamahaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Saranagata Vatsalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhakta Paradinaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhakta Abhaya Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhakta Anugraha Kataraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhakti Sakti Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jnana Vairagyadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Prema Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Samshaya Hirdaya Daurbalya Papa Karma Vasana Shayakaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Hridaya Granthi Bedagaya Namaha. Sutta Sasvastidaya Namaha. Gunadita Gunatmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Gunadita Gunatmane Namaha. Om Sri Sai Ananta Kalyana Gunaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Amita Parakramaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Amita Parakramaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jaine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Jaine Namaha. Durdarsha Shobhaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Aparajitaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Trilekeshu Avigata Gataye Namaha. Asakya Rahidaya Namaha. Sarva Sakti Murtaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Sakti Murtaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Surupa Sundaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Surupa Sundaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sulokshanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sulokshanaya Namaha. Bahiruba Vishwamurtaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bahiruba Vishwamurtaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Arubhavyaktaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Ashintaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sushmaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sushmaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarvantaryamine Namaha. Manovagatitaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Prema Murtaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sulabhadurlabhaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Asahaya Sahayaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Anatha Anatha Dina Bandhave Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Bharaptute Namaha. Om Sri Sai Akarmaneka Karma Sukarmine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Akarmaneka Karma Sukarmine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Punya Shravana Kirtanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Tirthaya Namaha. Vasudevaya Namaha. Satam Gataye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Satparayanaya Namaha. Satparayanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Siddheshwaraya Namaha. Siddha Shankalpaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Loganadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhavananagaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Amritamsave Namaha. Om Sri Sai Amritamsave Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaskara Prabhaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Brahmacharya Tapasaryadi Suvrataya Namaha. Brahmacharya Tapasaryadi Suvrataya Namaha. Satya Dharma Parayanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Siddheshwaraya Namaha. Siddha Shankalpaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Siddha Shankalpaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Akarmaneka Karma Sukarmine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Yogeshwaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhagavate Namaha. Om Sri Sai Bhaktavatsalaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Purushottamaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Satya Dharma Parayanaya Namaha. Kamadi Sadvairi Dvamsine Namaha. Om Sri Sai Apeda Nandanubhava Pradaya Namaha. Samasarva Mada Sammataya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sri Sai Venkatesa Ramanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Venkatesa Ramanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Samsara Sarva Dukkha Shayakaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Atpudananda Charyaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Prabhannarthi Haraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Samsara Sarva Dukkha Shayakaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Samsara Sarva Dukkha Shayakaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarvantar Bhagistidaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Mangalagaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Mangalagaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Mangalagaraya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Bhishta Pradaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarva Mangalagaraya 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 Namaha. Siddheshwaraya Namaha. Samarasa Shanmarga Sthapanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sri Samartha Sadguru Sai Nadaya Namaha. Sadguru Sainadaya Namaha. Sainadaya Namaha. Nadaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sri Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayaga Rajadiraja Yogiraja Brahma Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sarva Mangalakaraya Namaha, and let's do the Aarti.
शिर्डी माझे पंढरपूर साई बाबा रमावर साई रमावर साई बाबा रमावर शुद्ध भक्ती चंद्रभागा भाव पुंडलिक जागा भाव पुंडलिक जागा याहू याहू अवघे जन करा बाबासी वंदन साईसी वंदन करा बाबासी वंदन गणू म्हणे बाबा साई धाव पाव माझे आई धाव पाव माझे आई.
ॐ साई नमो नमः. श्री साई नमो नमः. जय जय साई नमो नमः. सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः. ॐ साई नमो नमः. श्री साई नमो नमः. जय जय साई नमो नमः. सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः.
ॐ साई नमो नमः. श्री साई नमो नमः. जय जय साई नमो नमः. सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः.
ॐ साई नमो नमः. श्री साई नमो नमः. जय जय साई नमो नमः. सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः.
ॐ साई नमो नमः. श्री साई नमो नमः. जय जय साई नमो नमः. सद्गुरु साई नमो नमः.
ॐ साई नमो नमः. श्री साई